Hoihnu, do you feel helpless? You lost your house. I want to remind our viewers again. Hoihnu is a journalist. She's based in Gurugram. Her parents were living in Imphal, 1 kilometer away or few kilometers away from the Chief Minister's residence. Their house was singled out in a colony. All the cookies houses were singled out and burned. I want to ask you therefore, Hoihnu, where does this hate come from? That neighbors are burning the houses of neighbors. Where does the hate come from? Do you feel a sense of helplessness today when your parents had to leave their home of years and come to Delhi to live with you?
Rajdeep, there is really no words to describe the sense of loss, but I just want to come back to you on your previous point where you said both sides suffered. Yes, we suffered, both sides suffered, but what we need to understand is the degree, the magnitude, the essence and the fathom of how we suffer is something so different, and this needs to be studied, captured, documented. So far, there is no commission or there no study or there no investigation looking into the magnitude of suffering that people on both sides have endured. Coming to my home, there is no greater loss. There is no greater loss than to lose a home where you grew up, where it's your world. It's like you've lost your world. And we are still reeling under shock, pain, and disbelief. As the days pass, I know that we're reeling under shock, and it's going to unfold. The truth will hit us. It hasn't hit us so far because we're still under shock. And there's really no words. And in terms of my colony, you said, where did the hatred come from? I wonder where did it come from? But we also got to know that 3 people from my locality were the guys who were showing them the map. They're the people who were leading the team of people who came to attack us on the night of May 3rd. So there were 3 people involved in my locality. All along, to imagine.
So you're saying your own neighbors identified your house and in a way targeted it, which is absolutely shocking. Brinda, you're saying that the buck must stop in a way at the Chief Minister's door, Brinda, that the Chief Minister, who's also Home Minister, is the one who has to respond. Do you believe that there is therefore this incident that you've seen, this horrific incident, will actually wake up the rest, are the people of Manipur waking up to it, or is Biren Singh seen by some as the savior of the Meiteis, that he has converted himself to a savior of the Meiteis and therefore cannot be removed or touched?
Rajdeep, this has to be the wake-up call. Either we wake up or we perish together. That is the situation as of now, because there is stark difference between reality and perception in Manipur. So as the Chief Minister and the Home Minister of the state, we the Meiteis totally do not see him as a savior, because our state has been weakened and the position of my community has been weakened and the people have been divided, perhaps irreparably. And we certainly do not see him as a savior of Manipur, and I feel that for 77 days he has let the people of Manipur down and he must go. If he doesn't go, then the government of India has to remove him, if there has to be peace and normalcy in the state, if at all we have to, bring back the
Are you saying therefore, as a former police officer, that the only way to restore normalcy is that the Chief Minister, for starters, has to be removed?
He has to be removed, because for peace to be initiated there, it has to start with a dialogue. To start a dialogue, there has to be a government which both the parties trust, and this government we do not trust.
This government you do not trust. Now these are voices, remember, from Manipur. These are police officers, these are activists, these are journalists who are speaking out today. A final word from you, Mr. Vora. Do you also agree at some stage heads have to roll? Why only in the police force? Heads, political and police force. What is the DG? I mean, should the police, the superintendent of police in that area, not take responsibility for what has happened 77 days ago, that they could not file an FIR for so many days?
Before I talk of your issue which you have raised, Rajdeep, I wanted to flag the international interference countries like China have been interfering in the northeast. I've done 3 tenures in Manipur, and I know that the PL and all earlier, they were all trained in China. Now China would be very happy. They'll like to fish in troubled waters. And you never know, you know, there are many groups in Myanmar also.
No, Mr. Vora, I must stop you for that. Let's assume that China is fishing in troubled waters. But for God's sake, those villagers who have gone and raped these women and gone and done it with impunity, they've not done it on China's instructions. They've done it because, as Beena Lakshmi says, a climate of hate has been created, where people have reduced hatred to the level that I take these women and molest them and rape them in the field.
So frankly, your voice is not clear to me, but I'm only saying that there's a danger of China already fishing in troubled waters. Myanmar groups also are there. And about the police, I think police has failed. So most of the officers are locals. I think they need to be posted out. Some neutral officers need to be posted in. The police needs to be restructured. It has to be neutral. It has to follow the law. And I think that at this time, the central intervention and very effective supervision of the center is very, very necessary. Now, whether Chief Minister should be removed or not, that's a political call which the parties have to take. I'm not a politician.
Right.
Some heads must roll. That's what I want to say at all levels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some heads must roll at all levels. People,
Absolutely.
the impunity with which this has taken place.
Also. In bureaucracy.
Yeah, okay,
also.
fair enough. And the fact that this has happened in the manner that it has, the sheer brazenness of it all, the manner in which rape is being weaponized, and it's been done in other conflicts as well, is just unacceptable. If this isn't a wake-up call, then nothing else will be. I appreciate my guest joining me.